I'm Steve Slade with Southern California rep for Panasonic Pro Video. I'm happy to be here to discuss network-enabled professional video products and how to retain your production values in this marketplace. Over the last few years, a wide range of streaming platforms and markets have emerged, and there are a lot of tools, many tools available to distribute high-quality video over the internet. Today, I'd like to focus on robotic cameras and streaming production switchers. My agenda, what I'm going to go over today, is to briefly discuss the marketplace, establish your IP standard, choose the right tools for your application, and then have questions and answers at the end if you have any questions. The Internet of Things, where everything AV is now connected or soon to be connected. New platforms are emerging, social media platforms like Facebook and YouTube Live. Applications are expanding. Broadcast is transitioning. Everyone is streaming programming. The reality is budgets are shrinking. Production staffing is reduced, and new tools are required. Hence, robotic cameras for remote operation and control. PTZ stands for pan, tilt, zoom, unitized, all-in-one cameras. So how many of you are involved in or have production experience? Raise your hand, please. Good. Traditional or streaming? Does anyone have any streaming experience? Okay. The reality is the same tools are used in both types of productions, right? Everybody that's been involved in production, they know, okay, I've got cameras, I've got cameramen, I have a production switcher, I have an audio mixer, I have lighting. All the things that I need for a traditional production are also required for streaming at the pro video or broadcast video level. How many of you have used or operated robotic cameras in your productions? Okay, we have one here, and you can probably attest that that number of cameras is growing. As the budgets shrink and the crews get smaller, you want to have robotic cameras so that perhaps one operator could control multiple cameras. And if you want to do that at a high production level, then you have to have cameras that meet those requirements all across the board, and that's what I'll go over. We see more and more PTZ cameras used with new applications coming out, like I said, esports, gaming, corporate AV that's been around for years using robotic cameras, church services, video conferencing, and more, where budgets are tight and crews are limited. So the first thing you have to do is distinguish your application and then select the proper tools for that application. So our focus today is professional video production, specifically broadcast quality pan, tilt, zoom cameras and switchers for streaming video. The first thing you have to do is establish your IP standard. And we're at a time right now where IP standards are still under development. Network compatibility for your AV and IT equipment is required. NDI, or Network Device Interface, is an IP standard option, and it's available now. So why choose NDI? NDI has the largest existing user base of any IP standard today. NDI uses an Internet of Things approach to video, making it easy for software vendors to produce IP video applications. NDI works on existing IT infrastructures like standard network switches, etc. It's easy to set up with features like auto discovery. If you've ever tried to put together a network, you need to have some help at least on the IT side of it, to get your IP addresses and everything situated for your network. And it's affordable. So choosing the right tools. Obviously, I'm with Panasonic, so I'm using Panasonic models for examples while doing my best to remain vendor neutral. It's really hard to remain vendor neutral when I sell one product, but across the board, if you're doing professional video for streaming, all the cameras need to have the same feature sets so that you can have high production value. That's what we're trying to establish here today. So all components use the same network protocol, NDI in this case. NDI offers single cable connectivity for video, audio, control, tally, and power. Add a streaming switcher to your network, and you can stream, switch, record, and monitor your production. So if you want to do a broadcast quality production and you want to stream it, you want to look for cameras with the following features. And that would start with high resolution for the best video quality you can attain. You want your cameras to have low light sensitivity, where lighting may not be designed for video production, and we all know cameras need lighting. So you want low light sensitive cameras with high video quality. That's half your battle right there. You want your cameras to be silent, so not to disrupt the audience if you're in a small conference room, whatever your application is. So you want brushless motors to avoid audience distraction. You want precise control for on-air moves with your controller. If there's other applications out there like security, for example, and it seems to be like confusion in the industry. You can't use a security camera for a broadcast type production because they don't have the motors that are precise enough. Their motors aren't silent either. And you can't have a high production value if you can't control your cameras. If you're replacing camera operators because your budget's small and you want to you replace camera operators with PTZ cameras, that means you're trying to replicate a cameraman. So if you're trying to replicate a cameraman, that means you have to be able to do on-air moves while your camera's hot. You can't just go to a preset position and have that on air. You want your cameras to have preset repositioning accuracy because with multiple cameras, you will use presets at times for cameras that are not hot at the time. So you might have an establishing wide shot with other cameras you're trying to position before you cut to that camera. So you want to have preset repositioning accuracy. Your cameras should have simultaneous multiple stream capability for bandwidth limitations for remote audiences. Some people will have a better download speeds, and so you want to be able to stream smaller bit rates to multiple locations for your remote audiences. And then you want to be able to embed audio into your system. If your camera has an audio input, then you can take a house feed, an analog house feed, send it into one of your cameras even, and then that can be embedded into the SDI or HDMI signal, allowing you for really clean audio, another really important aspect of a high production value broadcast production over the web. Pro Video pan-tilt zoom cameras features include multiple options for control. You want to be able to control them via RS-232 or RS-422 or with an IP protocol like NDI. Your camera should have multiple outputs, or you'd probably want to look for a camera with multiple outputs for baseband video like HD-SDI, HDMI, for flexibility of multiple applications. Features like Genlock for system sync, multiple power options, etc. so that you can sync your camera and switch without glitching, just like you would do in a traditional production. All of these factors contribute to cost savings while retaining high production values. Even outdoor PTZs for professional video require the same features to produce high quality. We're not talking about traffic cameras and security cameras. We're talking about beauty shots like the one in Long Beach with the Queen Mary. That's still not even that clean. But you can have a really clean broadcast quality, and you're seeing them more and more on the news where they'll show a location and it's gorgeous, maybe like off a helicopter. But it's a remote operated PTZ that's got broadcast quality and really increases that value that people want to see. Applications for outdoor cameras at the broadcast level are obviously broadcast, like the example I just gave, live events, stadium, sports, and outdoor venues, other outdoor venues. Pro video applications require many products to achieve a high production value. Cameras, an integrated production switcher, media playback, graphics, instant replay, presentations may need to be introduced. You might want to do live interviews, and a host of middleware tools that are available for you to do a production via the internet that looks just like a traditional production. Same as traditional productions, and now you want to add streaming, limit your crew, and deliver professional production. So let's talk about the integrated production switcher. Like I said in the beginning, you can use traditional production switchers and manned cameras or mixed manned cameras with PTZs. But in an era where budgets are shrinking and crews are getting smaller, you might want to consider an integrated production switcher that has everything built into it, including a streaming encoder. So an integrated production switcher would allow for you to capture high production value, a network interface to allow streaming and recording, built-in PTZ camera control with precise joystick control, a built-in character generator for titles and graphics, a clip store, a still store for playback, baseband inputs for live production or image magnification. Those baseband inputs are really important because if you just connect it via the internet, you will have latency. And if you're doing anything for image magnification where there's a live audience as well as a remote audience, you'll want to wire it the traditional way with baseband video HDMI or SDI to limit your latency for the live audience. If you're going to use an integrated switcher, you want to have intelligently designed controls, a surface with dedicated knobs, a T-bar, preview and program bus, a zoom and focus knob, and rocker to make it easy for a smaller crew to deliver high production values. In some cases, a single technical director could control a couple of cameras at the max and switch the show. Finally, a multi-viewer dashboard and control panel that's compatible with standard computer monitor, also cost savings, and allows you to see all of your sources on one monitor. This is really just a 30,000-foot view of merely one aspect of streaming professional video. And in summary, there are many products and solutions that are capable of delivering high-quality video via the internet. Look for the cameras and other products with the features I've suggested, and your high production values will be realized. That's all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
The outdoor cameras,
I'm sorry.
Okay, testing, good. Glad we got some questions. We got time, people. Think of some more.
The outdoor camera that you had
Yes.
featured in your presentation that had the capability of wiping off precipitation, rain, snow, whatever. Do cameras that robust also have ND filters built into them?
Yes, there's
They do?
three ND filters built into that camera.
Excellent, okay, thank you.
There's also haze software, image stabilization, everything you could imagine. It's also painted with a fiberglass so that it can last out in the desert. Like a polarizer filter, yes.
Terrific.
Thank
Who's
you.
next? Anyone? Okay, well, round of applause then for Steve.
Thank you, everyone.